Hello friends, I am Sanyukta and today we are going to be learning another Zentangle original pattern, and the name of the pattern is Festune. Yes, the pattern is very simple to draw. It involves drawing an oval shape, right? And then another oval or circular shape inside. You can either completely ink the shape or you can leave a small gap in between, and then I'm going to be drawing these series of curved lines emanating from the shape that I have drawn in the center, right? Like these, adding a little curve towards the end and also a little pressure on my nib towards the end, right? So most of the line I am drawing with a light hand and then adding a little pressure on the nib towards the end, right? Like this. Right? Basically this is the pattern Festune. Either you can apply pressure at the end and or you can add a little weight to the line towards the end, right? You can do it both ways. If you can do it while drawing, it's okay. If you cannot do it, you can add a little weight to the lines where they are ending, right? This is the basic pattern Festune. Why we give a little curve while the lines are ending is basically to give a 3D effect, because when you draw it in such a manner and then you try and shade it, you will add graphite in this area and then around the center, right? And then when you blend this, it gives a three-dimensional effect, right? So the slight bend that you have given, that when shaded gives a third dimension to your Festune. If you don't wish to draw your Festune in this manner, you can just simply either play with the shape also. It's not hard and fast rule that you have to draw an oval shape only. Just draw a circle inside or something like a circle and just go with plain lines. You can draw it in this fashion also. It will look nice, right? Maria draws her Festune in the way that I have drawn in the earlier diagram, right? But you can draw it this fashion also. Straight lines emanating from the center, right? You can add a little weight at the end again, right? So a little weight at the end if you wish. So you can draw your Festune in this fashion also, right? Just something like an oval shape or probably a circle if you wish, and then lines emanating from the center. You can add a highlight also, that is break the line at almost the same place every time you draw it, right? That's giving a highlight. So again, you can draw your Festunes in this manner also, right? Again, shading around the center and at the edges, right? Like this. So very simple pattern to draw, gives beautiful 3D or three-dimensional effect when drawn in a particular manner. Otherwise also it looks very nice when drawn in bunches together, right? So you can draw your Festune in both these ways. You can add variations by using the spaces between the lines, right? Or adding some puffs. For example, if you want, you can add some puffs around it, some tipple, something like this, right? So the variations that you can create are endless. Just explore, right? Or if you wish, you can use the space between these lines, something like this, right? So it is entirely up to you how you want to create a variation, but the basic pattern festoon is generally an oval shape, another oval shape in between, and then a series of lines emanating and a little curve at the end of the line, right? Something like this, right? I'm showing you again. That is how you draw your festoon. Again, a Zentangle original, a very old pattern, right? So this is how you draw it. If you cannot put pressure on your nib towards the end, then you can add some weight afterwards also, right? Looks good if you want to give a three-dimensional effect. So in front of me is a square tile, and let us draw a festoon in this tile, but I'm going to give it a crescent moon border, right? So I'm drawing these shapes inside which I'm going to be drawing my crescent moons, right? But with a slight difference. Let's see how. So drawing these crescent moon kind of shapes, right? And then instead of drawing my moon here, I'm going to draw inverted moons, right? I'm going to draw a moon on the opposite side and then add auras to the moon, right? So it looks like an inverted moon, right? So the same pattern, but just playing around, added my moon on the other side of the curve and then adding auras in the same way that we add to crescent moon, right? Inside the curve, and then we'll add few auras in outside also, right? So this is a border that I am creating. We have not yet started with our pattern festoon. Once we finish this border, I'll draw the pattern festoon inside, right? So I'm going to do the same exercise on all the sides, right? You can see here I have done the same exercise, drawing an inverted crescent moon inside all the curves, right, on all four sides. Now I am going to add 1 or 2 layers of aura, just like I add aura to the crescent moon, right? Just the way we add aura to crescent moon, I am going to just add 1 or 2 layers of aura to complete my border, right? So just keep rotating your tile, adding the first layer of aura, drawn crescent moon, but with a twist have inverted my crescent moon, right? Now adding the first layer of aura, Just keep rotating your tile so that your hand doesn't have to be moving much, right? So now I'll add one more layer of aura, right? Just the way you aura the original crescent moon, doing the same exercise here, just that the crescent moons are looking on the opposite side, right? So this is the second layer of aura. Now I am going to be drawing festune inside this place. So just starting to draw these oval shapes, drawing overlapping shapes, drawing behind at places, giving the hollybog effect, right? I'm going to fill up this place with this oval shapes, at times overlapping, right, like these, like these. Right, so accommodate a few more here and there. Right, probably one here. Right, I think that would do. And now let us start drawing our festunes. So drawing that oval shape, almost covering it up, and then drawing these lines emanating from the center to the end, applying a little pressure at the end, right? I'm not applying much pressure when I am drawing the rest of the line, so but pressing my nail a little bit when I am towards the end of the line, right? Again the same exercise. If you are not comfortable handling the pen such way, I told you, you can just draw simple lines and then add a little weight to the end of the line separately, right? Entirely up to you. Right. I am going to be drawing these festunes in all these ovals, right? So you can see here I have filled up all the space, all the ovals that I had drawn I have filled up with festune. I have made the pattern festune inside them, right? Now the leftover spaces, you have the choice, you can either fill it up or you can do, so rest of the spaces I am going to ink it, right? So whatever little space that is left in between your festune and the crescent moon, you can either add some other pattern like tipple or something, or you can ink it. It is entirely up to you. I think I am going to ink it because it will add some drama to my tile, right? So I am going to fill up the leftover portions right, like this. Right, whatever little gaps left between my festoons, I am going to totally ink it up. Right, here I have filled up all the empty space. Right, I have inked it, and now let us shade our tile. So just the way I showed you, going to add some graphite at one of the edges, the lower edge of the festoon, and some graphite around the oval. Right, going to shade my festoon, all my festoons in the same fashion. You can do away with adding any graphite over the edges, just cover the entire edge, or just add graphite around the oval that you have drawn in the center. It is entirely up to you. There is no hard and fast rule. Right, just the way I showed you, that you can also add this graphite all around, right, or just do away with it and just add graphite in the center. Anyways, it looks fine. Right, adding some graphite around the oval, inside and at the edges. Doing the same exercise in all my festoons. Right, so now that I have done that for all my festoons, I think let us add some graphite to the crescent moon also. Right, we'll add some graphite to our crescent moons. I am adding some graphite in the inside. Right, just besides the moon that I have drawn. Right. So let us now smudge the graphite that we have already added. Right, just with the light hand going to blend the graphite that I have added with on the edges. Right, you can see how shading adds dimension, contrast. Right, so immediately the festoons pop up. Right, so wherever they are overlapping, you can add a little graphite there. Just to give the effect of an overlap. Right, and then our crescent moons. Right, going to leave a patch in between, just like a highlight, and covering up the sides. spreading the graphite almost till the center, but not the complete thing, right? So we are almost done with our shading. Now let us pick up our white charcoal, add some highlight in the center area what we have not shaded with the pencil, right? I'm adding some white charcoal to highlight that center portion as if it is a shine or a shimmer on my crescent moon, right? Like that, and then a touch on this festune, just adding a slight curve, a slight highlight, drawing a curve, another oval kind of a shape that I am drawing with my charcoal to add a highlight. Right, so another oval, I'm pressing my pencil pretty hard here so that it shows, right? So just to highlight. Right, yeah, that would be it. So just brush off the excess charcoal, right, just brush off the excess charcoal. So that's the tangle pattern festune, right? I'm now going to initial my tile. So let me use a jelly roll to initial on the black ink, right? And then we'll sign and date the tile. Right. So I'll be posting a few more variations of this pattern on my Facebook page, that is Sanyukta Zentangle, right? This is one of the variations wherein festune, I have shown festunes growing on stems just like plants or something, right? There are a few more variations. For example, I showed festune with straight lines, right? So you can play around with them in any way and every variation looks as good. So just catch up with my Facebook page for some more tiles, and we'll meet again with another Zentangle original pattern. Till then, have a good time and stay safe.